Everyone, Phi Farley here. It is March 8th. It is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. We got a nice slate of college basketball on a Friday. It's finally good to get some, since the holidays, get some college games here on a Friday night worth looking into. So we got conference tournaments in full swing. I have a daily best bet here on one of the conference tournaments here in just 1 second as a daily best bet. All right, and then more picks will be found over on patreon.com/Phi Farley, which has actually been doing well here lately. So daily best bets have taken a dip here as of late. Looking to turn that around. Meanwhile, Patreon's been doing a little bit better as of late. That said, I'm looking for all of them to pick up here as we get into these conference tournaments down the stretch. So then we got NBA. That daily best bet is out there. And then we are going to go into the playoffs and then baseball around the corner. So if you haven't subscribed, take a second and do so. Also hit the notification bell. Get my picks as soon as they come out. It would be a good thing to do. All right. So let's talk about today's slate of games. I'm going to just point one out that's really interesting because I'm not going to play it. But it is really interesting that Drake, as the number one seed in the Missouri Valley Conference, is only a 2.5 point favorite. Opened up at 5, dropped down to 2.5 against Illinois State. They did just drop a game to Illinois State. It'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. And just the quarterfinal round for Drake may get a tough time right out of the gates in their conference tournament. All right, so I'm going to focus in on the Ohio Valley Conference. Going into the semifinal rounds, we have the 4 best teams in the conference duking it out. You got Murray State, Jacksonville State. What a game. Right now, it's Murray State opened up at 4 all the way up to 5.5 as a favorite in that one. And then the other game, which I'm going to focus in on, is Austin Peay versus Belmont. Austin Peay, a 8-point underdog at Belmont, opened up at 6.5, has been bet up to 8. Belmont, very, very strong this year, winning 13 straight coming into this game. Is the 8-point favorite. Now this game is on a neutral court, Evansville, Indiana. Both teams out of Tennessee. Not a very far travel to get to this one. So we really have to look at what our road game looks like for both of these teams. Now Belmont, like I said, has won 13 straight, and in conference only 2 losses. Both those losses are Jacksonville State. First one is understandable. It was right after a tough game at Purdue in which Belmont dropped the game by 11 just to kick off their conference play against Jacksonville State, so understandable. Then they lose at Jacksonville State by 11 midseason. No reason for that one. That shouldn't have been a flat spot or anything. They go to Murray State, winning at Murray State by 13. Really the only game this entire season they did not win by double digits was at Austin Peay. So now let's look at what Austin Peay does at home versus the road, because that was a home game for Austin Peay. Meanwhile, on the road, they dropped their average score by 10 points. They averaged 77 points on the road, where it's 87 at home. Meanwhile, Belmont scores 87 on the road. Their average game total drops just a point, 1.7 points when they go on the road versus home. Then when it comes to their defense, average giving up 75.7 on the road is what they give up, which is just up 2.2 points than home. So really consistent with Belmont. Meanwhile, Austin Peay 2.4 points up from what they would give up at home. So pretty big dynamic. It's 12.4 points difference with Austin Peay on the road versus home. Really, really big difference, where it's just under 4 points for Belmont, home versus road. Get a lot of consistency with Belmont when it comes to home versus road, so we should see big margins of victory on the road versus home, and that's exactly what we got all year long, except the Austin Peay game and Jacksonville State. Austin Peay was a 4-point win for Belmont, and like I said, Jacksonville State, they lost. But if you go through the rest of the conference, it is domination after domination after domination after domination. Morehead State, probably the next closest, a 10-point win. Tennessee State, an 11-point win. Tennessee Tech, a 28-point win. Tennessee Martin, a 45-point win. Southeast Missouri State, an 18-point win. What I think is going to happen in this one is I think we're going to get Belmont coming out to a pretty early lead. Austin Peay great three-point shooting team. However, they really fall short on the road. Their three-point shooting struggles once they hit the road. It's about 6% less on the road than it is at home. And I think they're going to try and force three-pointers to get back in this one. And that's where Belmont's defense is going to rise up. And forced three-pointers are not good three-pointers. You need a mix, and it's not going to work in their favor. So I am going to lay the 8. I think an 8 is going to be a pretty easy spot. And then I'm looking for, I guarantee Belmont's going to be rooting for Murray State to get the win instead of Jacksonville State. Maybe they want revenge. Maybe they want to win the title against Jacksonville State and get the revenge when it really matters most. But either way, tonight, daily best bet, Belmont minus the 8 against Austin Peay Governors. All right, good luck everyone tonight, and we'll see you again soon.